We are familiar as Virginians with the pivotal role that the Commonwealth has played in the history of the United States. Jamestown, Williamsburg, George Washington, you know the stories. Well, lost sometimes is the role that our part of Virginia played as the new nation moved west. So today in Virginia Crossroads, we travel to the town of Newbern in Pulaski County, where there is a new vision for an old story. The town of Newbern in Pulaski County these days is off the beaten path, a quiet collection of historic homes on either side of the highway. But in the early 1800s, thousands of people passed this way, so many then on the dirt road that it was the beaten path. Today's historic homes were once the vision of the town's founder, Adam Hance, who called for 2 rows of log houses to be covered with clapboards. The pivotal role of Newbern on the way west is the focus of a new exhibit at the Wilderness Road Museum, which is located in one of those historic structures.
People who come to Newbern will see many of the original structures that were all built around the time of the museum.
But this story is a fascinating one.
The Wilderness Road Museum itself is as historic as the artifacts inside. It was once the home to the town's founder and his son, who operated a store and tavern. And now, new panels and exhibits tell the story of Newbern and its role in history. For instance, this is where Daniel Boone began many of his travels.
A lot of the viewers might be familiar with the famous painting of Daniel Boone taking settlers through the Cumberland Gap. And so he started out pretty much as a businessman as well. He was hired to be a kind of tour guide or an explorer and take folks through this part of the state.
Despite Newbern's role, the Wilderness Museum's prior exhibits had been more broadly based. Only recently did the town begin to tell its own important story.
We've really been trying to develop a focus story about Newbern, why Newbern is here.
We've always been here on the Wilderness Road, but telling that story has not been as essential a mission as we're seeing it now.
This road that goes right through the heart of Newbern is the same Wilderness Road that it was way back in the day. In fact, it's still called the Wilderness Road. But when you look at it right now, it's hard to imagine a time when every man over the age of 16 had to help maintain it.
This was a clipped coin.
It's hard to imagine a coin like this one recovered on the property. Instead of receiving change, you simply cut off a piece to give to the store. Precious metal was precious metal, and if you were headed west, even a coin from France was good enough.
This was the main migratory route for people going west, and if they wanted a secure place to stop and rest, Newbern was one of those spots.
Visitors might also see a child's doll, marbles, firearms, and drawings that will, if you let them, transport you back to a simpler time and the important story of when anyone who wanted to go west had to pass through Newbern.
Who knew?
So there's some history people didn't know, right?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, there were so many interesting parts, but that part about, breaking off the coin, that kind of thing.
The coin, yeah, they didn't give you
cool.
change. You kept part of the coin, you gave part of the coin to the store. And that's how it worked. All right, so go check out the Wilderness Road Museum.